It's not too after. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Kristen Kellogg with CVSN. Thank you, everybody, for your time, and we appreciate your participation in the webinar. If you come into the webinar as an attendee, you will not be able to talk or turn on your camera. We do that just to prevent any interruptions. We are recording this, so we'll send out the recording when it's complete for your viewing pleasure anytime. And I just saw a golden retriever, and that just made me so happy, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's just squirrel. So anyway, again, this is Kristen Kellogg. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Edward Coe. He's going to introduce Ryan, our special guest today, and take it from there. Go ahead, Edward.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Edward Coe. I'm the Executive Director of CVSN, and I want to just give you a quick little introduction on CVSN before we get started. I'm going to use our website because it's all right in front of us. So as a quick intro and on to what we do, I like to emphasize that what we focus on as an association is the areas of a business that no one company can do on its own and can do much better when it cooperates with its competitors. So we use the word coopetition quite a bit. And in those areas that we focus on, they're in our 4-pillar communities right now here on the screen: legislative, industry awareness and marketing, education, Gen Next, and technology. So those are our 4-pillar communities. We basically introduce our work groups in those communities, and the solutions we come up with, we present at our 3 big industry events. So we are co-owners of HDAW, which many people know already. The seminar is new to us. Well, not really. It's actually an extension of the Distributor Training Expo, which has been extremely successful over the years. We've added some training and education tracks for the employee growth part of your company, and that's at the seminar. And the other event is our Executive Summit, which is all about vision and strategy and networking at the highest levels of your company. So those are our 3 major events. And then we focus heavily on our one fundamental right, which is the right to repair. We're very active in the government affairs side of things, and we want to ensure that all of our member companies have the ability to continue working on the commercial vehicles out there, and they have the access to the information that makes that possible. So those are the roles of CVSN. The other thing that we do is we do provide some group solutions to our members. And these are in areas where our members might not have easy access to that information or to services that are available, whether it's through their groups or other places. So we wanted to provide more of a unique set of options and third parties, trusted third parties that can help you through certain issues that you might have at your company. Today is a perfect example of that. We've already done webinars on digital marketing and on social media. Today is our IT services advisor. And the group we work with is C3 Technologies on this. But when I talk about IT services, this is basically, we know that many of our members don't have their own IT departments. And even if they do, they have trouble sourcing the right information. C3 and our IT services advisor, they have the ability to help you identify your problem, define it, go out there and source several options for it and find the best pricing for you. And it's all essentially a free service to you through CVSN. How does that work? That's a great question. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back over to Ryan Boyk, who I have worked with personally in the past. He's done a great job with us, for the technology projects I've worked with him on, and have a lot of trust in what their company does. I'm really impressed with their business model. So, Ryan, this one's up to you.
Thank you, Edward and Kristen. Happy to be here. And thanks to you guys. We've been working on the partnership for about a year, and we finally got it ironed out. And what a great service it is to all the CVSN members, Edward. Anybody that belongs will get access to free IT consulting, free IT support from us, like an extension of an IT team if it's a short or small IT team, or maybe perhaps they don't have an IT team at all. They want help with A, B, C, D, or E. Well, we'll be able to be of a great value. And I'll explain exactly how it is that we do what we do here as we go through the webinar. And I think everyone is muted, but if there are questions, please put them into the chat or Q&A, and I think Kristen can monitor that for us as we're going along. So Ryan Boyk, lead technology advisor, 20 years now. We've been helping companies all over the world. We have anywhere from a one-man shop, construction companies, to multi-billion-dollar enterprises that we take care of globally on all kinds of things. So there's no one's too small, no one's too big. Most folks need help in many areas. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. I've got 4 slides is all. I'm not going to slide you guys the whole time here, but I think it'll help explain how we're set up, the business model, and then how you can access that. So we are headquartered actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but we have people all over the USA. And we've built the company over 20 years by recruiting the best of the best to come and help us with this IT consulting practice. So we have, I'll do another quick share here. We have 50 people on staff. You just go to our website, you can see all about us. You can click on them to view the profiles and so on. But specialists in different areas that we've taken from different companies to put this practice together over the years. Now, what does this mean for you and how do we do this? So we have an ecosystem of about 3,500 vendors that are in these 6 core areas that you're seeing here, okay? So I'm going to start left and go right, and I'm not going to get into all the gory details of this technology, ABC's alphabet soup. But on the left side, we help a lot of companies with VPN, secure wide area networks, cybersecurity, firewalls. That's what that SASE is on the left. That's basically a new way to connect systems, people, and applications, okay? Next one is cybersecurity. That's our biggest area of growth. So you guys, companies come to us and say, we don't even know where we're at from a cybersecurity posture position. Can you help us figure out, give us kind of like a snapshot of where we are and how we stack up against others. Maybe look for some gaps or some areas of concern that you may not be aware of. So we'll go through and we can access and analyze your antivirus that you may or may not have and make recommendations on that. Detection, manage detection and response to watch for threats coming into the network. We typically will see when we go with customers to block threats, a lot of these malware attacks, on average, once we put the systems in place, we're actually blocking around 30 to 35% of all internet traffic that's deemed as bad or malicious. So think about that for a minute. That's a big number. 30% of what's happening is malicious. Now, hopefully everybody doesn't click on that free Starbucks gift card or whatever's coming in to download that malware. And that's another big thing is to, we call it the human firewall, but make sure your people understand what the threats are, what they look like, so you don't fall for it. There's a lot of stuff going on out there in the cybersecurity world. Incident response, what happens when something happens bad and who do you call? You can get a hold of us and we can parachute people in there to isolate, contain, and remedy, and then restore whatever damage is done. So cybersecurity is huge. That's what I'm going to leave it at that. Third one across, telecom. Mainly what this is, folks, is we have agreements with every single internet provider and phone carrier in the world, and we can help you. We can help you to get good internet access. Let's say you're moving office locations, or you're having troubles with your Comcast or your Cox cable link. You just need more internet, or you just want to kick the tires and see, hey, am I paying market price? Well, we have. I'll do one more little sneak peek of one of our wonderful little tools here. We have access to, like I said, every ISP and phone carrier in the world, and we know all the networks. We have maps of where all the internet providers go. So I can put an address in right here, and it'll zero in on that location, and it'll have a list right there of all the internet providers that are available to you in that area. And then I can click a button and get pricing from every single one of them. You want a price for a 50 meg, 100 meg, a 500 meg, 1,000 meg, Very easy for us to do that. You don't have to call 7 or 8 different ISPs and talk to salespeople and spend time doing that, where we can simply do that for you. And by the way, we can typically get you better pricing than if you go it alone, because of the fact that we have benchmarkings that we use, to make sure you're getting current market promotional rates. We can pit the carriers against one another and get you better pricing for that. So we save you time and money on that front. Let me go back here. And then phone lines, phone service. A lot of the carriers are getting rid of the old copper phone lines. So you'll need to put in some sort of an LTE or an IP if you need a POTS line, like an old fax line. I met with a customer yesterday. For 12 months, they were paying AT&T $1,000 per phone line. They only had 2 of them for elevators, but the big phone companies are trying to get rid of that service. So you got to watch out for that. And that's another thing we can do. It's not even on here, but I've seen probably, I don't know, 1 million, but at least a few 100,000 phone bills in my day. Happy to do a quick audit of any type of technology service you have and say, this is for that, this is for that. You're paying too much here. I recommend changing this to that, and so on. And again, questions can come in through chat. The fourth one, unified communication, that's basically phone system. Hosted phone system, hosted VoIP, cloud PBX. There's a lot of different words for it, but you may have heard of Ring Central or Vonage or Zoom or even Teams Voice. These are all systems, and there's thousands of them out there that you could put in to replace like your traditional phones that you may have. Here's a Polycom phone that I don't even have plugged in, but your old Abayas, Nortels, Cisco's, things like that. So we can go through and figure out what your tech stack is. What do you want to integrate with? Do you want to integrate with Teams or Office 365? Do you want to integrate with Salesforce, Zendesk, whatever the case may be? And we'll take that field of 1,000 different carriers and shrink that down to like 3 that'll work exactly for your business the best. And we don't care which one you pick because of our master distribution system I'll get into in a minute. But we'll save you time and money on that front to say, based on what you've told me your goals and objectives, let's start with looking at these 2 or 3 vendors first. They're going to meet or exceed all of your criteria. Now, if you don't like those 3 that we recommend, we can look at the other 997 and go through that if you have time. Let's see. The next one, the 5th one over, cloud managed services, is kind of a broad one, but mainly that's Office 365 migrations. Mainly that's infrastructure as a service. If you don't want to maintain legacy servers or databases, we can move that to a cloud. You just pay a monthly fee. That's backup and disaster recovery as a service. So if you do have things that you're running the business on, you can have a local access storage device, or they call it a NAS. So local backups are great, but if you're not testing that a lot, to make sure that in the event of a disaster, you can restore to that backup. And then second of all, what if it's a flood or a fire or whatever? So we recommend the 3-2-1, the backup system that's recommended out there. So 3 copies, 2 different medias, and 1 off-site. So we can set up a cloud backup target for any data that you want to get off-site. It's not very expensive. It's easy to do, and then you don't have to worry about it. You're just safe. And that ties back to the cybersecurity piece then as well. If you do walk into the office and your PCs are locked up and they say, hey, we've got malware Ryuk on here and we'll give you the keys if you pay us $25,000 or whatever, just say, who cares? Because you've got 2 backups of everything that runs your business is backed up 2 other places. You can tell those bad guys to go pound Sam. Desktop as a service, help desk, tier 1, tier 2 ticketing help desk. The last one, contact center. If you have a call center, there's a lot of great software available today to automate things. Artificial intelligence is all the rage. I'm sure that you guys have all heard about all these AI things coming out and how great it's going to make your life. Some of it's true. Some of it you got to be careful of. We do a lot of AI consulting today. I wouldn't jump into using the free large language models just yet, like Llama, and you're probably ChatGPT is one of the more common ones. because there's no real legal guardrails on that information yet. Essentially, how that works is OpenAI, which made ChatGPT, put tons and tons of CPU servers out there and basically ingested most of the internet, and then made that available to people for free, basically. But there could be issues with that because it's not regulated, it's not fact checked. It's called the hallucination effect, where you don't get exactly the truth. So that's the generative AI. That's the scary thing. That's thinking and creating. But a lot of the AI we do, we call it cognitive AI or processing AI. So chat bots to automate some chats, if you guys do that, or even in the call center, when you want to, you can set up what's called an interactive virtual agent. So when people call in, they can start their conversations with a robot, and then, if need be, go to a live person at your company. Now, I'm sorry about that. I should have shut my phone off there. If you think talking to a robot is not cool, it's getting very good, everybody. Most of the time, it's hard to tell that you're even talking to a robot these days. And they can handle usually about half of the calls that come in. Where's my order? Where's this? Where's that? Same thing on the chat bot. What's your hours of operation? What's your price? What's your rates? It's just automated. And these AI chat bots and things like this work 24/7, 365. They never call in sick, and they're always there for you. We're not all about, don't get it twisted here. We're not about replacing jobs. So what people say about AI making people's lives better is pretty much true. It makes jobs easier. So it takes a lot of the mundane stuff off the plate, makes people's jobs easier, makes the customer's life easier because they don't have to wait on hold. They can talk to a robot. So a lot of stuff we can help out with here. I'm gonna end on this slide and go to the next one.
Actually, let me jump in here, Ryan.
Yeah.
Let me throw a couple of scenarios at you, since we'll make this a little more interactive.
Let's do
But
it.
let's just say I have a company. We have 50 employees, and I want to give everybody a cell phone, and I don't want to have any real phones anymore. I'm just so tired of the desk phones. Could you help me with that conversation? How would that look?
For sure. So you got AT&T and Verizon are your main guilty culprits there. Depending on where you're at, there's T-Mobile that's in our portfolio, which is usually about half the cost of the big two, AT&T and Verizon. But we got to check your coverage, which we can do. So yeah, certainly you can certainly run a business on cell phones if you like. Yep, I know we have them here in town that do that.
All right. Well, what if I'm a little worried about my cybersecurity for my company. We have 8 people in the company. I'd love for you to do some testing to see where our weaknesses are. How would you recommend I go about that?
So we would come in and I would grab probably one of our lead engineers just to go through a questionnaire or some sort of like an evaluation of what is in place today. We'll analyze your whole technology stack. Are you guys a Windows shop, a Linux shop? Okay. Are you Apple? Where are all your applications at? Okay, now what security services do you have in place? Do you have antivirus? Do you have endpoint protection? Do you have backup? Do you have this? Do you have that? Very simple process, no charge on that.
All right. Well, one more. My server, and I think that's my server that's in the back room. It's making some really weird sounds, and there's a little smoke coming from it. What do I do next here?
Well, we need to understand what's on that server, and then we can come up with a plan to move it. So there's we got about 4 or 5 dozen providers in the portfolio to do private hosting or hybrid hosting of applications like that. Good question.
Right. And then the last one I'll throw at you, I really don't like my ERP system. It hasn't really done what I wanted it to do. It's expensive. Can you help me with that?
We don't do the ERP stuff. That's a different animal. We're starting to dip our toe into HRIS, human resource information systems, but ERPs are a beast. So we're going to let the ERP stay with the ERP specialists. We're going to be focusing on providing IT consulting on the leading edge, all the latest and greatest softwares that come out.
So there are some limits to where you guys stop, but really, you definitely provide that consulting along the way. how do you make your money? And I'll let you continue on with your presentation from there.
Okay, so that's a great question. I definitely want to cover that because we often get asked that because we've never invoiced anybody. The business model, it's a beautiful business model that we've set up, and we call it the technical services distributor. Think of it as like a master distribution system. Let me see if I can find something here and show how that goes here. Like I said, it's about 3,500 vendors today, and that changes a lot because we're constantly moving vendors in and out based on, because there's so many new, first of all, there's new vendors popping up every day, okay, especially in this AI stuff. It's just, there's thousands of these AI companies that want to come out and provide services. We also move vendors out over time. Just today, actually, we moved out a vendor called Atmosphere that was just going through too many changes and downsizings and just weren't performing and responsive enough. So we moved them out. But this is an example of it. Like I said, 3,500 vendors. Now, the beautiful thing about how we have this set up, Edward, is we get paid the same rate from every single vendor flat across the board. So we'll never find C3 come to one of your customers and say, hey, we're pushing Zoom this month because they're giving us 6 extra points, and next quarter we're gonna lead with Vonage or whatever. That never happens. It never has, and it never will. So that's awesome because we're completely unbiased. We have no quotas or allegiances of any kind with any vendor. They basically work for us and we work for you. So think of if you're meeting with a company to potentially buy a solution or a technology, they're side of the table, and C3 is sitting on the same side of the table as CVSN and its members. So whatever solution ends up working out for you, that's how we get paid our money. We get the commission off of that. So does that answer the question, Edward? Did I cover that good?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have too much more. So in summary, we save clients time and money. We have the expertise. We have the tools. We have the talent to do all these things that most folks don't have, that we've developed over 20 years, like I said. We go from, I should switch these around, but a typical buying journey for somebody that's going it alone. You're over here on the left side. You identify the problem, right? And then there's the maze can lead you anywhere. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I want to search the web, get a white paper, meet with all the vendors, and it could take you a long time and a very confusing process or confusing journey to get over to the right side here. Whereas a partner like C3, we do all of that minutia, crappy work in the middle, and we provide you with expert guidance and advice to make a good purchase. You'll never, if you bring in us, you will never make a bad technology purchase. We won't allow that. We won't allow you to pick a stinker, basically. And let's see what else we got, and that is it. So this is a summary slide here. I got it to Anna. We'll email this out to everybody to have as a reminder. Now, how do you get a hold of me? Here's my name. Here's my email address. I'll add my phone number on here. I got a phone number that you can call me anytime. You can text me. You can fax me. That's all the same number. It's one of those special smartphone numbers if you'd like to fax. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. We have a very big presence on a lot of the social medias. I personally do a weekly technology tip of the week on the LinkedIn platform, which is usually about a 2-minute tip that I do live to something relevant. Lately, it's a lot about AI, and what to watch out for, how to, successfully think about bringing artificial intelligence in, or it could be some new unified communication thing, or oftentimes it's a security thing. I did one recently on the QR phishing scams where the email will send over the QR code, and you got to scan that to update your membership to the premium or whatever. Well, most email blocker filters can't stop that because there's no malicious code in that email or in that QR code. But when you scan that takes you to the website with the malicious code, and then that can get you. So much out there, and it's changing very fast. And if you don't have dedicated staff, like an IT person or more, to study this stuff and you're in the trenches and you're working on it and you're going to conferences to see what everybody else is doing, interacting with your peers, asking questions, very difficult to keep up. But with a company like C3 that, thanks to CVSN, is at no charge, you'll be safe. So I think that's all I've got for everybody. We're going to keep it right there, I believe, unless there's questions.
Yes, so thank you very much, Ryan. I will say that if you need to get a touch of Ryan, you can also call CVSN directly or send us an email, because we have that hotline to C3 and what needs to be done. I can personally attest again to some of the services that C3 has provided in the past. One example is I was looking for a cell phone plan, and I actually thought I could get a better plan through a close personal friend who sold the services, and turns out same company offered a better price through C3. So I mean, it was a no-brainer at that point. So definitely sold. Great opportunity for anybody, even if you do have a technology team, just because of the connections that they have in the industry. And if you have any questions or you just need a little more guidance, feel free to reach out to either Ryan directly or to us at CVSN, and we can help direct you down that path. So thank you very much for your time, Ryan. I'm going to go ahead and put an end to this call, and we'll send this out as a recording to all of our members, and hopefully we can help advance our members to that next level of technology or comprehensive technology coverage. So thank you very much for your time, and have a great day.
One last thought, Ed, on this technology stuff. You got to do it. You can't avoid it, especially on the AI front. That's a heavy one. But I remember I studied Henry Ford in college for a project, and so many people told Henry Ford when he was in high school trying to build a combustible engine, they said, "What are you wasting your time for, Henry? Nothing will ever replace a horse." There you go. So don't be afraid of the technology. If you're scared of it, try to learn about it, and we can help. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.